Hi everyone. The solar lease has been with us now for about 2 or 3 years, and it is a hotly debated topic on the internet. Solar companies will tell you that this is the best way to do solar. They do make a lot of money doing these leases, so I can understand why they'd say that. And there are consumer advocates who are saying that this is the worst thing that ever happened to the industry. Well, the truth is probably somewhere in between. A solar lease can actually be a very good deal, or it can be your worst nightmare. And what I am going to attempt to do is to provide you with the information you need to make the right decision. So I'll talk about it here, and there's information on our website that we can get to later. So, what are the good points of a solar lease? Well, a solar lease can actually save you as much as 50% on your monthly electric bill. And that would occur if your home happens to be oriented right roof pitch in the right part of the world. But truthfully, it's not all that uncommon. And a solar lease can be done with no money down or little money down. And in fact, that's a negotiable part of the lease these days, and in fact you could potentially pay the entire amount up front, and that's not necessarily a bad deal. In fact, it can be better than just straight paying cash for a system, because the leasing company as a commercial entity is able to take advantage of some incentives that you as a homeowner don't have available to you. The other good thing about a solar lease is that you are going to know what your electric costs are going to be for the duration of the lease, which is 15 or 20 years. None of us knows what the utility companies are going to do, and this is a way to fix your costs and know what they're going to be. In this lease arrangement, the output of the system is guaranteed by the leasing company. And in fact, what you'll find is, in truth, that the guaranteed performance of these systems is probably going to be exceeded by your system. These companies are conservative because these guaranteed outputs are just that. If the system doesn't produce what they predict this system will produce, they literally have to write you checks for the difference. And they don't want to do that. And they don't want to have customers doing their leases that are not satisfied and putting up web pages slamming them on the internet. So the truth is, the system is probably going to overproduce by a couple of percentage points. The other good thing about doing a solar lease is that you don't have to worry about maintenance or repair. These systems are incredibly bulletproof, extremely reliable, but this does take the risk out of putting a solar system on your roof. So what's the downside of entering into a solar lease? Well, you're entering into a very, very lengthy lease agreement, either 15 or 20 years in most instances. If you buy or lease a car, that might be a 3 to 5 years lease, and really kind of the only thing that compares to this is when you start getting involved in leasing commercial property. So it is a very, very long obligation. Another fact about this is that the companies that are financing these leases are the major banks and major financial organizations, the same companies that have been straddled with a lot of blame for our financial crisis in this country. So if you're one of those people that has a real issue with doing business with these organizations, I would suggest that you don't go into a solar lease, because they are the companies financing these agreements. Perhaps the biggest issue for anybody considering a solar lease is you need to know what it's going to take to buy out this lease or break the contract. And the issue there is that, as Americans, we don't stay in one place forever. We're constantly moving. So what happens 6 or 10 years down the road when you want to move? Well, there's going to be a buyout, and as a consumer, you need to find out before you ever put into contract what those buyout figures are going to be 6, 10, 11, 12 years down the road. and you have to be able to live with whatever is in that contract. And here's the real issue. This is technology, like all modern technologies, that becomes old very quickly. As we've all experienced, you buy a computer and try to buy the best thing in the market at the time you buy it, and 2 or 3 years later, it's a boat anchor. It's no longer viable. Well, the same in some regards, the same thing's going to happen with your solar system. The solar industry is progressing very rapidly at this point. The technologies are getting better and better all the time. The costs of the technologies are dropping very, very rapidly. So 10 years down the road, you want to move, and you're hoping that that person who is going to buy your home is going to be willing to assume that lease. 10 years from now, probably not, because they're going to be able to go into the marketplace and buy a solar system very cheaply, and they're not going to want to assume your lease. So you need to know what that buyout is going to be. So the other thing is that, yes, this is rapidly going to become old technology, but this is a little different than a computer system in that that system that was put on your roof to eliminate your electric bill will still be doing so 10, 15, 20, 30 years down the road. The systems, again, are extremely reliable. The degradation of the solar panels is quite minor every year. And even though it's old technology, 10, 15, 20 years from now, it's still going to be eliminating your electric bill. And when you get to the end of your lease, you're going to have some options. Number one, the leasing company will, if you want, they will come and just remove this system from your roof. They're going to give you an option to just sign up for a new lease, refresh your lease with new technology, and they're also going to give you the option to buy this system and just leave it on the roof. And they're going to do so at fair market value. Well, 15 or 20 years down the road, fair market value on that equipment is probably going to be next to nothing. It's going to be very old technology, and the leasing company and the solar integrator that put that on your roof, they're not going to really want to bother with pulling all this off and going through the expense of doing that and then having to store it and try to sell it. So they're going to offer it to you, I would bet, at a very attractive price, and you're going to be buying, at that price, you're going to be buying several more years of eliminating your electric bill. That's not a bad deal. So you probably found this video either by doing a Google search, or maybe you found it on YouTube, or maybe you even landed on our website. In any event, please visit the website. There's all kinds of articles that are going to help you make a better decision about what you need to do. And if you have any questions, feel free to contact us. We're always happy to help. So thanks for taking the time, and good luck, and hopefully we'll talk to you down the road. Bye-bye.